Hey YouTubers, it's RV Camper Living with Edward Martin. Just figured I'd spin the camera around quick on my phone. That's all I have to do with this, make videos with. But I just wanted to give you a little update on the Nova's blocked out and reprimered some stuff. That's actually going to go soon. I got my wheel wells. Probably won't be able to see it. Mocked up and laying in there. I'm going to take them out, continue working on them next week, keep them here while the car goes. But another little project I was working on while I made this video was at 49 Ford. There's what's left of the fenders and the lower fender section. We're going to throw them out and get new. Got the ready to support the strip yet. That fender well to strip. Got some cracks in it going up around here to weld. Don't ask me how they're in there, but they're there. And I got the front fender supports all done and prepped and primed. And I have the upper and lower grill panel there all done, prepped and primed. I just hung them up to keep them out of the way. And I got the lower grill panel prepped. I'm going to prime it tomorrow. Other piece of the inner fender well is prepped, ready for prime. This one here is that other piece I just showed you bolts in right here, like right in here on that fender well. Don't ask me why, but I just have that sitting there next to the wood stove drying. That one's prepped, and when it dries it can all be primed tomorrow. But mainly, like I told you, I have a 98 Chevy Express 3500 van that I tow my camper with. Yeah, just so people don't know, if you don't know from other videos, that I live in my camper. I pull it with a 98 Chevy 3500 van, the Chevy Express, a 1-ton van. And my rockers are rusted out. So here's the deal. This last year over the summer, I changed all the doors on it because the locks were broke, it didn't work, stuff was missing, rust, and dented up. So I cut the right side of the door out, passenger side, to keep the skin. And there's the side door, what's left of the skin. All the rest of it I just cut out, because you can look online, you can find rocker panels that are for below the driver's and passenger side door, but you can't find the whole rest of the van from the front doors back unless you go to a dealer. I guess I didn't call and ask, because the darker sheet metal here is the doors that were on it. They were actually changed over at one time before I bought the van. That I put all 5 doors on it from a junkyard that had a key to them. Now they lock and they look half decent. They're not rusted and they work good. But anyways, I took these skins I was using. Here's some scraps, first of all. So you can see they were the Chevy van, the Contour. You can see where they were glued to the inner brace. I just laid that scrap here so you could see. Get it out of my way. And here's a bucket of all my trimmings from the air shears and stuff, so you can see I cut them out of. That was the right side sliding door. So what I made so far was the piece between my right rear wheel well and the sliding door. What I did was made a bunch of cardboard templates, which I won't go through them all, but there's a pile of them. All these different templates I made up. I marked them left inside. What that was is my pattern. Actually, I kind of used it. That's cut out. I had to add, my mark was to add there, but I made a template for everything, threw it out flat, and I had to shape it. So then I took the right rear. This goes behind the wheel. What I did was, off my cardboard, I marked the sheet metal piece. This is the high point on the radius, the lip that sticks out on the wheel well. This is the low point. That's where it fades in on the body. This is the back where it wraps around the bumper. I didn't get into making these yet. Here's the left rear behind the wheel. Same thing here. High point of the radius. Here's the low point where the body's smooth and this just blends in. Then once this is wrapped around, here's where I cut off. That's what's actually inside the wheel well. And then this here is just cut to the length. Then the left one that goes in front of the wheel, here's my high point. And here's a low point. Body just blends in. Then here's where that'll get just a mirrored image of this. Like that. Over on the here it'll get cut out. That'll get wrapped around and shrunk. Then the left side's going all the way up to the body line. The right side, you can see I have it, it's the same, it goes up to the body line. And then down here from the back of the sliding door front, all the way front, it's just a panel like this. So anyways, you can see I got a nice shape on it. I'll try to lay this somehow so it'll stay up, get back off of it a little bit. All them marks are for me shrinking the metal to wrap it around there. I know it's probably a little difficult. It's hard to make a video while I'm doing this. I get on a roll and I don't want to stop to take my time to do it. So then I made a form, a wood template you could say, for the bottom to lay this sheet metal on, then one for the top, the sandwich in between. And I took my C-clamps, clamped together, and hammered that lip down all the way around. I drew a line on there with my marker. That way it's, the camera will focus or not. But anyways, it's hammered down on a 90. This will be the right side rocker panel. And of course I have to dolly the very bottom lip because I want them nice and neat and straight. That was that one. That was the hardest one between the, oh, then here's my, I told you about my wheel well. Here's the high point of the radius. Here's the low point. And I'll show you how I did that. Took some firewood. I'll get down here. I just kind of eyeballed a bump up on the log. Just cut it with circular saw and busted it off. Took a grinder to it, kind of shape it. Then a little piece of metal for a test to make sure I can see all my hammer marks. See if I can start to shape it. So anyways, then I laid this one here. Then that metal's actually junk. That was just a little test piece to make sure I can hammer that radius. Then I laid my metal down on here. Just started hammering away and then bending it around. Then to get that to shrink, I don't know if you can see that real good. See them little lines where if you understand hand shrinking metal, you'll know why it gets shrunk, and then I have to hammer it starting in the back of each bump that sticks up in the air. If you can see them, you have to start in the back and go back and forth till you work them out. And here's another spot you can see where this was the side door of the van. You can see how it's white here and here it's not. These are old glue marks where this outer skin was glued to the inner brace of the van side door. That's one way to show you that it was, I'm using sheet metal doors that I replaced to build these. Something you can't just buy online. Okay, now shrinking, I just use these shrinker that's for like gutters and downspouts I had for 18 years. You just stick them on there and keep shrinking it. Then I crisscross it this way, crisscross it this way, then I'll go hammer it. Then I'll crisscross it this way, and going in all this to get, so when I bend it, I can have it help me get that radius. Then hammer and dolly that flat. Keep shrinking it, keep hammering it. It's a long process, but for something you can't buy, there it is. Okay, then this one is just a straight piece for the right side. It's got my radius on. It's got my lip on the top that is where I'm going, right here at the top. That's where I'm going to cut them up inside the door there, just that far in. That's it. And the other one I made was behind the driver's side door. I bent my radius. I'll show you my template for that. Then you hammer. This is where I made 2 blocks of wood to sandwich the sheet metal, and took a hammer and I just made that radius and that radius the same. There's that. Shape of the body, I just hold cardboard up just like I did for my template for the door jambs. You hold cardboard up and trace it. So then from this mark here straight up, this is actually the curve of the body. So then I just took a little smaller piece like this, and I'm going to make all my radiuses the same. I'm cutting everything out and putting all this in new, so